That camera guy was absolutely gassing me up.
Baker Mayfield, he's got magic in him, folks.
This year's Heisman Trophy winner is Baker Mayfield of the University of Oklahoma.
The Cleveland Browns select Baker Mayfield, quarterback, Oklahoma.
This one downfield, Beckham got him, touchdown!
Mayfield toss, wide open, touchdown! For the first time in 18 years, the Cleveland Browns are going to the playoffs.
Baker Mayfield is the reason why this team is where they are.
Former Browns quarterback Baker Mayfield, he is headed to the Carolina Panthers.
The quarterback has been claimed off of waivers by the Los Angeles Rams.
Baker to the Rams, good luck.
Baker Mayfield is going to earn a 2 to 3 year contract somewhere after this season and probably play very meaningful minutes for a team next year. The Bucs were expected to target ex-Rams quarterback Baker Mayfield.
Everything happens for a reason, so I'm here now and I'm ready to go.
Mayfield looking for Evans, he's got him! Mayfield with time over the middle, caught! And that is going to send everyone in Minnesota home.
Baker, for everything that has been said about him over the last couple of years and being run out of town in Cleveland after winning them a playoff game, but are the Buccaneers going to go on a run right here?
Never let the outside noise affect the relationships on the inside of the building.
Welcome to The Room. This is episode 4 already. That's crazy. Week 2 approaching, but week 4 we started a little early. Caleb, Josh, and then Jared Goff joined us last week. This week, Baker Mayfield. Baker, thank you so much for becoming a roomie and coming to the QB room, man.
Appreciate you guys having me. Doing good.
I was trying to think of it. We'll start with how we all know each other. Do you remember when you and I met? I don't remember like a specific time. It might have been like, hey, what's up at a thing. I didn't remember. I didn't know if you did.
No, it was definitely pre-draft. I can't remember when exactly, but it was real brief.
Okay. And well, funny pre-draft because I had hit you up, as I do, guys, when they start lighting it up in college, and then busy didn't see it, as guys do when they're balling in college, right? And so it was funny. I was like, because it was, you guys were the same year, and Sam and Josh and all that. And so my room was kind of set and we're going. And then I get a call from Jimmy Clausen, who's a mutual friend of ours, which is funny because I used to hate Jimmy Clausen. And then I played with him in Chicago, and then he became my boy, and Jimmy's the man.
Yeah.
And I get a call from him and he goes, hey, dude, I need to talk. He texts me. He's like, I need to talk to you about draft prep or something like that. I'm like, don't you like flip houses? And he's like, hey, I'm training Baker Mayfield for the draft. Like, just want to talk to you. Like, what kind of stuff should I do? And I'm like, I don't know about you guys, but we start tomorrow. Like, this is like January 3rd or something. He's like, my agent or somebody. Like, anyways, and
I'm glad I'm just not hearing that.
It worked out.
He was figuring out how to go, just one day at a time there.
Yeah.
Was he dialed in?
He knew everything he needed to do, but like, just that process.
It kind of happened authentically, like because I moved out to LA, but I was north of you guys, so I was living in Sherman Oaks, but working out in Westlake at that Proactive, and those guys knew Jimmy because he was right around that area. And my agent was like, "Hey, I think we need to do the draft prep stuff." I was like, "Yeah, I mean, kind of follow your lead on that one." And he was like, "Well, you should probably, if you're going to do it, go down to Orange County." Talks about you guys. I was like, I love the gym up here. I love the guys they're doing all the workouts and everything. So I don't know how they made it happen, but yeah, all of a sudden Jimmy was doing it, and it worked, I guess.
Yeah,
it worked pretty well.
Yeah, it worked out. And then you guys, it wasn't until this year, right? When we ran into each other at Waste Management, right?
Yeah. I don't think
that was the end of a day, too. It was the end of a long day.
End of a long day. You also were on a golf cart. You were getting the special treatment there. You and Mark were on the golf cart. We pulled up on you guys. You had the full silk outfit, too. The shorts and the shirt. Feeling sauce. I think fucking Mark challenged me to chug off, and he destroyed me.
That's you Arizona guys. I mean, Mark was pulling strings left and right to get those golf carts.
Well, cool, man. Let's get into talking through this. So, you prepare for a meeting or whatever. You kind of hit up somebody who knows the guy better than you. So I hit up Joey Paris, a mutual friend of ours. You still cross paths with Joey?
Oh, yeah. Joey moved down to Austin. That's where we live in the off season. And actually, my brother-in-law, one of Emily's brothers, Sammy's living down there with him right now. He moved in with him for a little bit. Joey's great. He's actually a Cleveland guy. was living out in LA.
Right.
I think that's when you guys got connected. But that guy knows everybody in the world, so that doesn't surprise me at all.
Yeah, but he I said, "You got any nuggets?" And he told me to ask about, I guess, the greatest fantasy football league in the history of fantasy.
Oh,
but that's all he told me. So you got to fill in the blanks. What's the Kelly?
He's self-proclaiming that. I don't know. There's a long story where they found the name of the actual league. I participated in it 1 year. Wasn't a very good fantasy football manager. But it's quite the eclectic group of guys. It's pretty much all like that group of friends were all like extremely famous from a young age. Like there was like 4 of them that were Vine famous at like 16. Mm-hmm. They still have like 12-year-old fangirls running around. And it's just like, it's those guys, Joey's older brother, just a big group of their buddies that are a part of it, but they take it more serious than anybody I've ever seen. And so to do the draft order this year, I hosted a little trivia night, and they had to get the most questions right. They had to submit a couple questions about themselves, and so they had to guess about each other. It was kind of a who knows their friend group the best, and it was pretty much pure comedy. I mean, a lot of stuff that not exactly viewer friendly, but it was so hilarious. Those guys are just a trip.
It's funny you say that you're a terrible fantasy football manager. I don't do it anymore, just because I was so shitty at it. I don't know.
I don't know what it is.
As a player, all that. I'm terrible.
You think you would have all the answers, and then it's like, Yeah.
I don't. It might be like a micromanaging problem. I don't know. You overthink everything instead of just looking at it. All right, this guy's going to play well. Just put him in. Yeah, I feel like I always try and see who the sleeper is going to be and try to pick him up and make last minute roster changes, and it just never works.
Yeah, you're like looking at old game plans of the defenses they're playing this week. It's like, oh, Joe does really good against 88 Flip over here this week. Like, let's put him in. Like, no, that's not how it works.
Based off what you just said, Kyle, you'd suck too.
Yeah, exactly. No, I won week 1 this year, bro. First year, I won week 1.
We're good. Awesome. Speaking of week 1, man, congrats, man. Big win. That's huge, man. This has been a crazy offseason, new spot, new everything. And to go in against a good team too. It's not like you got some warm up here. Minnesota had a lot of momentum coming out of last year. Good defense, good quarterback, good coaching, all that stuff. You guys win at 20-17, 21-34, Bucs 73, 2 tutties, no turnovers. And I love the quote, man. I'm not going to try to be Tom. I'm going to try to be me. All this talk this offseason, Tampa and all that stuff. I mean, how good does it feel to just go in there and get a win here this week 1 with these new guys as you're getting to know everybody?
I mean, it felt amazing, to be honest with you. I mean, not like the best stat line by any means, wasn't the prettiest win, but like you said, good team coming off of a great season last year and just a hostile environment. I've only played there once before that, and this was definitely a lot louder. You could feel the energy the fans still had carrying over from last year. And I think just the challenge in its own was Brian Flores coming in. His first game calling it for them and really not knowing exactly what he was going to do. It's not like they were going to show the pressures and everything in the preseason. So, it was like a chess match in the first half. Every time we checked, they would, and it was more frustrating than anything, because then when we try and rewind it and go back to something else, the crowd noise was just deafening to where we couldn't actually get on the same page. So, got a couple good plays in there that we capitalized on, but our defense and our kicker played unbelievable. They saved us there. 3 turnovers, kicker hit a 57-yarder. So that's a great way to start the year.
Yeah, it's always tough. That week 1 is always so interesting, especially when it's a new coach. You go and you try and watch preseason tape, but like they run 3 coverages and they run the same blitz 9 times, Yeah. And it's like, all right, so they're going to bring the nickel, I don't know. And then they bring 4 off the left, like the first couple plays. It's like, It's always interesting to see the teams that usually have the most success week 1s are the ones that are willing to adapt and figure out what's going on in the second half and change that game plan. Seems like that's what you guys did.
Yeah, no, definitely. And like, that's my thought process going into like a week 1 matchup with the new coaches. It's almost like you want to go in with like a Thursday night game plan script of like being really simple and concise, having answers for everything, and just being like everybody on your team being on the same page, and then adjust from there. Because it's not like, you're after training camp, you have everything in, so it's not like you can't adjust on the fly. So I think our guys handled it well, but it definitely took a while for us to settle in.
And the same thing that's happens in college too, right? Because there is no preseason tape, so you're going off last year, whatever. And I got clients, and they're like, it's a new coordinator, all that. but in the league, it's like those plays that are good versus anything, whether it's a pure progression, whether it's keep it simple, really simple protections. But doing that on the road is way harder because you don't have, like, at home, it's a different deal because you can talk.
Yeah.
I think that's one of the loudest stadiums in football. I mean, that place, they do the big chant thing with the horn or whatever, and it's like, fuck, this place is going right now.
They get after it. I mean, it was really loud. It's a fun place to play, though. Obviously, definitely a lot better when you win.
Yeah, you do well in the loud environments. I know you like to shut people up. That's more like your thing. I kind of feel the same
Napoleon
way,
complex.
Yeah. I feel you, dog. I always like going to New Orleans too. New Orleans was similar for me, man. You go to New Orleans, it's loud as shit in there, and you go in and shut them up. There's not a better feeling, man. It's one of the best.
See, I've only been to NOLA once. It was my rookie year, and Tyrod was still playing, so I'm looking forward to that one. I know it'll be loud. The Bucs and Saints do not like each other.
No, NFC South. It's gonna be awesome.
Yeah, it'll be sweet.
Let's talk about your teammates, man. I think just watching you from afar, we came out the same year. I've loved watching your career. Your career's been crazy, right? You've been crossover with some of my buddies, Sam in Carolina, the game in LA last year. Now you're in Tampa. I think the thing that kind of resonates and is consistent through everything is how your teammates react to you. I want to read you some quotes from your teammates and your coaches. There's a lot from Tampa, but there's you can see it from out your entire career so far. Todd Bowles, he says, he's a player's player. He's a warrior. These guys follow him. They love him to death. Tristan Wirfs, your tackle, I think he's a dog. Austin Hooper, everything that came out about him, it was nothing from the guys on the team. He's a great teammate. He's a good dude. Always checks in on everyone. You look at the game in LA last year, the guys in the locker room after the game. What is it about you and how you go about yourself in the locker room that everyone just seems to gravitate towards you as a player, as a teammate, and as a leader?
I don't know, man. It's a good question. I think just being authentic, and that, I know it's like a real general response, but I don't take myself too seriously. I know who I am, and so I always care about everybody else. If everybody's doing all right, I check in on them. But then when it comes down to work, I just put the work in, and I have fun while I'm doing it. It's obviously you guys know that what we do and what we're around the game of football is such a blessing to actually it's our job. It's crazy. So just enjoy it. And so I always try and have fun with it, even though I've had some miserable years and a lot of ups and downs, but just trying to be consistent throughout all that, and just making sure that never let the outside noise affect the relationships on the inside of the building. And those are the most important relationships you'll have, because when it comes down to it, you only step on the field with those guys, and keeping those relationships, making sure you have that trust and respect, it's everything to me.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty impressive. Wow. You go to Carolina and you're a captain right away, right? You don't get traded there or released however it worked out. You didn't get there until training camp, right? Or late OTAs. I forgot what it was, but it was late.
Yeah.
And you're a captain right away. I just think it speaks volumes. It's awesome, dude.
I appreciate that. Yeah, no, I do take a lot of pride in it, but it's not like I'm trying to do too much. Just being myself, and I always I don't know what it is, but I love trying to find out how people tick, how they're wired, what really gets them going. Whether it's a guy that needs a little extra loving, or it's a guy that needs a foot in his ass every once in a while. Just finding that out, and always just finding little things to mess with people with it. It's always fun to enjoy.
Well, one of the more impressive things I saw last year was that Rams game that, sign in. Would you play on a Thursday, right?
Yeah.
2 days later he played. And we've all played in preseason. I've had to bounce around. I've signed mid-season places and, but I've signed mid-season and been the two, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Still got to cram, still got to learn, but it ain't starting. Question, because this was an issue with me a lot when I show up somewhere, and it comes up a lot with clients, but you don't even know these guys. You've been here 2 days. The last thing I'm gonna spend time to do is get to know somebody. I got to learn these fucking protections and all that stuff. Be honest. When you're in that huddle in the game, did you actually know the first and last name of everybody in that huddle?
At that point, I did.
No shot. No, you didn't, bro.
There was no hey, 88,
on the
come here.
defensive side, I knew a couple guys, but no chance.
Yeah.
I remember headbutting some dude, and then I learned his name 3 days after. Yeah, I mean, but in the beginning, no, it was slowly introduce myself as we go on, starting to realize, okay, who's actually going to play? Because when I got there was so many guys injured, so I was just trying to learn the pieces of the skill guys and get used to that. But yeah, I mean, it was definitely learning on the fly.
Yeah, you're lucky it wasn't like an away game and you're in a silent count and you're right guard. You have no clue what his name is. You're like, 77. I need your eyes. Give me the silent count.
We had to go silent because SoFi.
Oh yeah.
Right.
Oh my gosh.
The Raiders travel so heavy.
Yeah.
Yeah, they travel so heavy, so we were on silent. But yeah, it was nuts. I mean, I remember I got there like 9:30 p.m. Got the facility up North LA like 10 o'clock. Studied with OC QB coach and McVay for a little bit. Woke up in the morning, went and they had a walkthrough and they put me in the walkthrough. I'm like, what the hell's going on here? Yeah. So I didn't know the status of John Walford at all. And I didn't know him at all. Now we're teammates now. I love him to death, but I didn't know pain tolerance or what the deal was or was specifically the injury. And so I'm just like, okay, I'm getting a couple reps here. Then we had a little lunch break. I went back studying. We go out to practice. And John's unable to throw at that point. So they put me in for the 5 half-speed reps to 7-on-7. And so I'm learning these guys. And I'm like, what? All right, nice to meet you, Ben Skronik. Nice to meet you, Tutu Atwell. Van Jefferson, I tried to recruit you in college. Fuck you. You should have come to Oklahoma. Awesome. No, but it was just I don't know. It was one of those things. It was the craziest 24 hours on that Wednesday of my life. But yeah, getting to know those guys quickly.
You know, you look back on your career, you just remember the memories, the moments. It's not like you remember Oklahoma as a whole or high school football as a whole. Dude, that one's got to be up there. That was so bad.
That's one of those things I'll never ever forget. And just how it happened was nuts. So yeah, I'll cherish that memory
for
forever.
Such an amazing memory and such a big moment in your life to be also a meaningless game. It's not like it was a Super Bowl or you know what I mean? That game, all it did was move them down in the draft one time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
But personally, game changer. And there's plenty of haters out there that were respect it. You know what I mean? Because everybody has haters. Respect it.
It definitely was a weight lifted off the shoulders. That's for sure.
Cool.
Yeah. It's like you said. I mean, it was kind of a make or break moment for you in your career. It's funny you say that on Thursday Night Football, but
yeah, it's just and especially once I got there. I mean, obviously Carolina wasn't what I expected to be. Then getting to LA, the state of the union of what they were in as well. So I mean, that was kind of the conversation when I got there that Tuesday night. Was listen. And this is Sean saying that. It's listen, we're not in a good spot, but this can be your 5-game season. We don't know what's going to happen next year, but let's make the most of this little 5-game season and see what we can do and help you out for the future. And that's he was so straightforward, and I respect the hell out of that. And so I loved it.
Yeah, I want to talk about your interesting career of being the guy and then being in quarterback battles. I've been in quarterback battles my whole life, so it's that's what I know. I know quarterback battles, but. Rookie year, you were in a battle with Tyrod. Tyrod plays, you end up playing, and then the next couple years, you're that guy, right? You're going in OTAs, you're practicing with the ones, training camp, you're with the ones, and you're the guy for the next couple years. Then you go into Carolina, it's a battle with Sam. You win the battle, and then you go into Tampa, and it's a battle. You win that battle. Congrats on winning both the battles. I don't care who you are; it's hard to win a quarterback battle anywhere. The margin of error and the talent level in the NFL is close. Is it so much different going into a season with all those reps with the ones as compared to splitting them with another guy?
I normally would say yes. But I'll be honest, between Carolina and Tampa, the way the training camps are, it's so damn hot. So the receivers and the skill guys are constantly rotating.
Yeah.
So you get most of your reps with those guys and the chemistry and everything that everybody talks about how important it is. You guys know it is. You get most of that in routes on air. And then when watching film, when a guy's in, to see how they're going to react on certain routes. But the valuable reps to me are just the communication with the O-line and trying to get them on the same page, for them to hear the cadence, for the running back to kind of get a feel of what you're doing, check down wise and all that. So there's pros and cons, but I tried to look at it as okay, I'm not getting all the reps with the ones, but make sure I watch every single rep of Mike Evans and Chris Godwin when I'm not in there playing the camp.
Shifting gears here. So ball out of your hand, and now moving into the shit talking side of things. We think you wouldn't have made the list on this little production sheet we put together if we didn't both agree. You're one of the better shit talkers out there. Personally, never been a big shit talker just because I'm a lover, not a fighter. But in college, I went through a phase where I would say ridiculous things. Somebody would come up to me fuck you, motherfucker, and I call him a butt face or just something so dumb.
Nice, dude.
What did he just call? You know what I mean? That was how I dabbled in shit talking. Was
Sick
just
burn.
Calling them a name that you would only call somebody in 4th grade. You know what I mean? Like the old 4th grade stuff.
It almost catches them off guard.
It absolutely did.
Yeah.
And so when I started catching my guard, I started doing it all the time. So I'm going to give you 4 of the classic Baker Mayfield shit-talking lines.
Oh, boy.
Okay. And I want you to rank them 1 through 4. Which one, like, in that moment felt the best? Like it left your lips and you were like, it's exactly what I meant to say. Okay.
Yeah. We need a blind ranking.
that.
Though, so we're not going to give them to you. We want you to blindly rank them before.
Okay.
All right. First one. Get that fucking weight up, little boy. Stiff arm versus Vikings.
More of a truck, honestly.
Okay, so he's gonna,
Okay. So I ranking it right now?
Yeah,
We're
1
ranking
through
right
4.
now, Kyle?
Where are you putting it? Yeah.
I'm putting that one at 4.
Okay. That's kind of standard, right?
Yeah.
All right. This one's not. You forgot who daddy is. I'm going to have to spank you today. OU versus Baylor pregame.
Is that a porno or is that a football game right there? I don't know.
It almost turned into one. That one might be number 1 for me because it was just off the cuff, just out of nowhere. And it was one of those things pregame. We're at Baylor and we had never had trouble with them. And then all of a sudden their young DBs are out in the field talking trash to us before. And yeah, golly, I don't know what you're going to say. That's sad that I don't know what you're going to say next. I'll go. That's number 2.
Okay. All right, number 2. All right. D-line in Jacksonville. They make a little shift here, a little stunt pre-snap. That was fucking cute, guys.
That's number 1. That was in the middle of a game. Our O-line came off the field after that drive and was like, "Did you actually just fucking say that in the middle of the cadence?" It's at that point we were pretty much rolling as an offense, so that was number 1 because that was when I like felt complete command. Somebody did something and I was just like, all right, that was fucking cute, and just move on. So that's honestly that was number 1 just because it was quick.
Yeah, I love that. And then this one's probably going to cement. This one's on your headstone. I just think it's badass. But I woke up this morning and I was feeling pretty dangerous. That one's pretty good. That's not shit talking. That's a quote.
No,
that's that's all time.
That was shout out to a American Sniper. Me and my roommate Jackson Yules used to watch American Sniper like it was our religion. And so I have no idea what I was saying half the time when I was a rookie anyway.
Yeah.
But I definitely regret saying it because like the inscriptions and stuff when you're signing autographs for those like certain deals, like I would have to like write out feeling dangerous or like I woke up feeling dangerous.
Over again.
Oh, what an idiot. Why did I say that?
Yeah.
Fucking epic.
To connect those dots. So I'm a big American Sniper fan too. And Kyle and I 2 years ago jumped out of an airplane. I trained a kid whose dad is Command Master Chief down in Coronado Island for the SEAL teams. And we jumped with SEALs out of a C-17 over Coronado.
Sick.
And we did it with Double D, who's the main character's best friend, the black guy in the movie, who's like the drill sergeant guy. That character's off of Double D, who went with us that day.
That is
super
awesome.
crazy. Hearing the real stories about the movie and all that stuff
that's so sick. I just got goosebumps thinking about that. That's sweet. Dude, I don't know if I could ever jump out of an airplane, but
well, I invited Sam too, and Darnie Boy passed on that too.
Yeah, he chickened out. Jordan was almost too heavy to do it too. He almost was overweight. We couldn't do it.
Well, Josh was too heavy.
Yeah,
it was
Josh
230 was the cutoff, and I was like 228.
Gigantor Josh couldn't fit.
Yeah, no. The best part about it is if you were heavier, you had to have a lighter tandem guy, and so I think Jordan had like a guy that was like 5'8", 140, and you had to like when you get up to the edge, they're like, "Give me your weight," and so he had to like lean forward and pick his feet up in the air, and this little like 5'8" guy is just waddling him to the edge of the plane.
He's on your back.
Yeah,
he's on your back.
You're on the
you
front.
Had to sit onto his lap.
Yeah,
and this guy's $130. You know what I mean? And I'm just like, and I'm by the way dangling off the end of an airplane, like it goes like this.
Yeah, it's like Warzone.
You fall out of the back.
That I can't even imagine. Did you have any like second thoughts once that thing opened up?
Yeah, the whole way up. Yeah, I was questioning. I got kids, the whole thing. But I'm like, if I'm going to jump out of an airplane, I'm going to do it with some Navy SEAls. Like,
yeah, facts. Yeah,
that alleviated a lot. But
that's like the coolest thing I've ever heard.
Dude, it was awesome. We're gonna do it again. I'll give you a heads up.
Yeah, we are.
Oh boy,
you can come.
I think I'm sick that day. It's crazy.
Yeah. Another good quote you had. You did this on Mike Studd's podcast, but you said, "I'm a sicko" on his podcast, which is a great self-suck by you, calling yourself a sicko. I like it. But you like to say that when you're in games, you find people in the stands who are talking shit to you, and then you go make a big play, do whatever you do. You come over and you find them and you talk shit right back. What's some of your favorite stories from doing that over the years? Do you remember?
Man. Yeah, there's definitely been a few.
There's got to be like a guy in a blue shirt that I remember, and
there's
or like a Raiders fan and with horns on his head, just flipping you off. Yeah.
There was a guy a couple years back at MetLife. We played a Monday night game. We won pretty big. Odell had, I don't know, he had a stupid amount of yards,
a
couple
long
touchdowns.
Touchdown, like the little route.
Yeah, he had a little RPO he caught. And this guy was just hounding me from like pregame on. And God, I remember he just, like, at a certain point, like, some of the stuff they say is just really clever, so you kind of enjoy it. But then after like 2 quarters, you're like, all right, fuck this guy.
Yeah. So
I finally turned back around, like mid-second quarter. I go, we're going to go fucking score. I'm going to come back and find you, bitch. And so
which is his dream come true. Like, action. And then he said this to me.
And then I'm
Did
the
you guys hear
idiot.
that?
I'm the idiot. Then, of course, we go down and score. And then I come back and find him. And all of his buddies are like, yeah, dude. And they all got their phones out. I'm like, I'm an idiot. But I don't know. There's something about, like, I always try and focus in on like one person that's like right behind our group. Most of the time they're pretty clever, but it's like almost like I'm blocking out everybody else, and like I'm only focused on like what one thing that guy's saying at a certain point. Like, get all this stuff down on the sideline, and I can only hear him. I don't know if it's like a weird coping mechanism or what it is, but I'll take it.
Yeah, it's like QB coach. Tell me all the things I need to know so I can get up and talk shit to this guy.
Tell me how bad you are.
Yeah.
Dude, it's so funny the heckling behind the bench, because, and I would only bring this story up because you went to OU, is the OU sideline for the away. I don't know if it's like this on the home side, but the away side. So my freshman year, I was redshirting. UTEP went to OU. We got beat 77-7. I didn't play. It would have been the same score. But it's like 8 yards from the sideline. Like close. The fans are like part of the conversation. And we had this guy on my team, this walk-on, huge, like 360-pound offensive lineman named Jordan Tubig. The worst last name for
Jordan Tubig.
Tubig. And that student section, or whatever, that group of people, the whole game, dick too small, ass too big, dick too small, ass too big. And it was just, they had stuff for us the whole game. And it was just like, it was hysterical. It was like, there's nothing you could do but laugh. And if it was a tight game, we would have been talking shit, but it was 77-7 and we were just dying. But there, like 5 yards away.
It is dangerously close. And it's not like that wall's padded at all. It's like a brick wall. It's like only
brick.
And it's not tall at all. So like, they're right there. You can reach out and like grab their popcorn if you wanted.
So we had Caleb Williams on episode 1 this year.
He's a stud, man.
Absolute stud. Stupid. Unbelievable. His stats are crazy right now.
He's nuts.
I don't hype a lot of young guys up, but he's the only guy I ever said this about it at the Elite 11s when I met him. He was a junior in high school, and I was like, that's the best one I've ever seen right there. And I've been to every single Elite 11 in 25 years.
Yeah.
Not me or Baker? You didn't think that about me or Baker?
Nope. Caleb Williams.
All right, cool.
I'll say that in front of anybody who
sounds good.
I've tried to get Lincoln to squeeze that out, but he won't do it.
Well, we asked Caleb when he was learning Lincoln's offense. So who'd you watch, right? Because he can watch Heisman Trophy winning #1 pick Baker Mayfield, or Heisman Trophy winning #1 pick Kyler Murray, or dude who played in the Super Bowl last year, Jalen Hurts. You're learning the offense. You know how it is, right? You watched a lot of Brady, right? I mean, because you're watching the reps, right? And he said he watched your tape the most. And more than Kyler, more than Jalen. What does Caleb do better in Riley's system than maybe you did?
Oh, man.
I know he can do things that other people can't do, but in the system.
Physically, he can, he shits on me. But I think what he does, what I've watched, is like when they have a shot called, he somehow, like, I don't know, like you guys know how it's like I take, drop, whatever, hitch. If it's not there, I'm like, okay, the clock's going off. I got to try and make a play with my feet. Where it's like I would try and scramble around trying to find somebody else. He somehow maneuvers his way around, or like he does kind of like the Patrick thing where he backs up, buys time, and still gives that one read a shot. And, like that can come back to bite you in the ass, but he's so good. He can throw off platforms. He can do it from like backing up off his back foot. And I think that he just buys the extra time for when Lincoln does have that stuff dialed up. he makes it happen no matter what.
Yeah, let me flip it. If you were coach, have you seen him play? I mean, probably a handful of times.
Yeah.
You guys are busy on Saturdays. If you were coaching him, based off what you've seen and how well you know that system, like Cliff, Cliff is there. Cliff's at SC helping out. I don't know if you know that Kingsbury's there.
Yeah.
Like based off what you've seen, is there anything that you've seen where you're like, you should do more of that with him, or I would coach him to do that?
I mean, I don't know. You could pretty much do anything with him. I'm interested to see how he translates with like formational stuff, because they just spread them out and Lincoln's got it dialed up. I would love to see how they do with like different formations and personnel types, to see how he reacts with that and just recognition. Because like I feel like he does such a good job of like throwing deep balls on rhythm, but then also just the scrambling aspect. So I would love to see like just his recognition. If they weren't just a pure spread offense. I know that wasn't really the question, but I mean, I can't really poke any holes in his game, to be honest with you.
Yeah. And it's funny too, because when I do draft prep, I'm now teaching guys base defense. So this is 3 linebackers, all the same size, and they all play at the same time.
It's going away though. It's going away in the NFL too. You don't see it much.
It's a lost art. Yeah,
it is a lost art.
You see these linebackers, and they saw it last night, and this guy looks jacked, and then they go, and he's 6'2", 214 pounds. It's like, that's their Sam, and he's good.
Yeah.
Like 215? What?
Yeah.
And he's
smaller.
He's their best blitzer too.
Yeah, and a lot of teams are just going, they're not even doing base anymore. They're going nickel, and then they go big nickel, and they just put their bigger safety in there, and he just hits the run fit and quarter. Like, it's crazy. Base defense is a lost art. We don't even spend time on base defense anymore, especially just like teams who spread it out.
That used to be Wednesday.
Yeah.
Base pressures.
Yeah.
Thursday was sub pressures and third down. And then Friday was it was a day, first and second down. We're going to see base, so we're going to spend Wednesday on base. And it was like, now it's like, shit, there's 6 snaps of it.
Yeah, you guys got to, like, y'all know, you got to do base and sub on Wednesdays, and then Thursdays are for the exotic pressures that everybody's got their different packages in. So it's like, all right, what are we actually going to see this week? Let's get prepared for Thursday and have it dialed up. But other than that, you're like, all right, base, we're good. Nickel, all right, they bring Will Free Safety or they bring Mike Nickel. All right, we're good. Let's move on.
Yeah, exactly. Just figure it out. Base defense, the linebackers when you were playing, Jordan, were 260. Freaking big dogs back there. Yeah.
Brick walls with neck rolls.
Yeah. I played in the AFC North, and Ray Lewis is like prime.
Yeah, exactly. Where that was like everyone was trying to be like him at backer. Yeah. Now it's
scary human
guys
being.
who are 220 who can hit just as hard and then run 4.5s. It's like your boy in Tampa, Devin White.
God, between him and Levante David, I mean, those guys side to side, unbelievable.
I've never seen someone as like no homo as thick as Devontae White that runs that fast, bro. It's unbelievable. I remember I was just like, bro, when you're the backup and you're on the sideline, you're just like looking sometimes for shit to keep you entertained. And we had a play where we ran like some type of swing screen to the right, and he sprinted and made the tackle on the sideline, and he fucked this dude up, and he like stood over, and I'm standing right there, and he looks at me. I was like, "You're looking pretty fat today, Devin." He just runs back on the field, looks back at me, and I'm like, "Oh, I hope I don't have to go in today." Fuck. God.
I remember watching the first time I saw Julio Jones in person. I was like, "Holy shit!"
Yes. Yeah. Yes.
And he was still rolling with the Falcons in 2018, and I was like, "Oh my goodness, this guy is a grown man."
Well, we were talking about Myles Garrett before you came on too. Just similar thing.
Hey, the guy's created in a lab.
Yeah,
dude, watch that tape. By the way, like watch the third quarter of the Bengals Browns game.
Nuts.
Myles Garrett just ruined the game. They had 3 back-to-back touchdowns dialed up, like dudes open, and Myles Garrett just threw the tackle on the ground.
Yeah, I mean it's pretty scary, the fact that he's got Darius Smith on the other side now.
Yeah,
totally.
Yeah, they had that. They tried that with Clowney, but now it's real with Zadarius Smith. Real deal.
Yeah,
it's unbelievable.
He creates his own problems.
All right, we're gonna play another game. This is called Take the Sack. We played this with Jared last week, but it's essentially a would you rather game. So we're gonna give you something. Would you rather have this happen, or would you rather take a sack? And it's not like
it's Myles Garrett sack.
Yeah, it's not like you're getting tripped up when you're rolling out to the right.
This one sucks.
Yeah, it's not Byron Murphy trucking him in the backfield. This is this is real deal here. So we got a couple of these for you. So the first one, would you rather get asked about the 2018 Rose Bowl again or take the sack?
Oh man, I'd get asked about it again.
Yeah.
I'll take that one to the chin.
Yeah. Keep taking it. What was that with Blankenship this year?
Yeah, Rodrigo Blankenship. Yeah, I still think about the fact that we tried to squib kick right before halftime and gave him the ball right at midfield. And I'll look back at that one and be like, all right, that's why we didn't score just enough points to win.
How many points did you guys score that game? Like 52 or something?
They had 52. We had 48, I think.
Unbelievable.
No, that didn't make any sense. 51-48.
It was a lot, regardless.
Yeah.
One of the best games. All right, next one. Would you rather have Josh Allen or Patrick Mahomes take your crown as the best starting quarterback actor in commercials in the league, or take the sack?
Dude, you're the best. It was the most natural. Day one, you were the most natural. Those, I don't remember the company, but they're, and your wife too.
It's the progressive one.
It was fun,
right?
I'm taking the sack on that one. I'm going to take the title with that one. I'm taking the sack.
Yeah, you got to take the title with that one.
Josh is on his way, though.
There.
You can
Josh
see like little
better.
snippets of Josh's humor, like this little smirk, shit-eating grin that he's got, like poking through the bushes. I just love it. I love seeing the personality. You can tell Pat's just reading off the script.
Yeah. He doesn't commit to it as much as you did, though. You were fully committed.
I was dialed in. We're talking about it. I got a future in it. I'm trying to.
That's good. Yeah. What would be the company you want to do it with, man? If you had one right now, what would you do it with?
Oh man. It's tough to say, but I'll say this. We tried to get Progressive to do a moving campaign because everybody absolutely hates moving. And I think that would have been the best year we did it, but didn't happen.
Would you ever entertain that after you and your wife ever talked about that?
I think so. But it's just
it's weird. It's gotta be weird to think about right now.
But I don't think I could be into that whole lifestyle though. Like I like being able to do it. Like, okay, it's like kind of just playing myself and just, like I said earlier, not taking myself too serious. But I think it'd be different if I had to actually act like somebody else.
Yeah, you're just
like a production day versus going to Toronto for 6 weeks to shoot.
Yeah,
you know
that's going to be a no for me.
Yeah, that's good. All right, next one. Would you rather be Colin Cowherd's co-host for the next couple years or take the sack?
I'm taking a huge sack on that one.
Yep. Good. Jordan, you're going on Cowherd tomorrow, aren't you?
I'm going in studio tomorrow with the herd. Everybody knows what he thinks about you. What do you think about Colin?
I've said this after I went onto the show because we talked pre-show, and obviously he says whatever he says. I think he's so good at what he does. That doesn't mean I like what he's saying, but I think he's so good at what he does and pissing people off and picking on the right guys within certain fan bases that are just blindly loyal. Mm-hmm. I respect him, but yeah, I would rather not be his co-host because I think I'd argue with him mid-show.
Be great.
The whole time.
You wouldn't get to a break. Yeah, that's awesome. It's funny. The first time I ever went on his shows during draft prep, your guys' year, and he wanted to hear about. He loved Sam coming out, and so he wanted to hear about Sam. And in passing, he didn't know I was working with Josh. And in passing, and he goes, and obviously, when I said something about you, and then he's like, and then the Allen kid from Wyoming, that guy's got bust written all over him. And I go, it was the first time on the show. I'm like, well, hold on, define that. And so he kind of says it, and we go back and forth. But then I was going on Speak for Yourself an hour and a half later. So you kind of kick it in the green room in LA and wait for the next one, and I end up in his hanging out, talking, whatever. And he's like, all right, so pitch me, tell me why I'm wrong. And I went and he flipped it on that. And then that's when he started asking me to come on more and all that stuff. But it started with me just being whoa, wait a second. You can't just say that real quick. You know what I mean? But he likes getting called out too. Anything you want me to give him tomorrow?
Just tell him I say hello. I miss little Colin.
Little Colin.
Perfect.
All right, great.
It's perfect. I want him 4 rows behind you talking shit.
Put him in the
him be the guy that you pick. You in that Cutter and Buck button down plaid shirt.
His glasses with his glasses on the top of his head up here, straight down, looking at the camera.
Spot on with that one.
Oh my god! All right, last one. Would you rather go to your favorite steakhouse in Cleveland, best restaurant? There's some good ones there. Have a great dinner. Maybe some old fashions, Wagyu, with Jimmy Haslam, or take the sack.
Sack.
There we go. And that was take the sack.
I think a lot of people would take the sack on that one. Whether they were drafted by him, played for him, or even just a fan.
Yeah, I'll take the sack.
All right, cool.
Okay, I do love the Wagyu at Marble Room downtown Cleveland, though. It's a good spot.
It's good. Yeah.
We've had some headline statements. We're not the gotcha trying to create stuff like that, but it's just come up. Caleb just in part of his comment of an answer was like, and I play to be immortal. I was like, whoa, hold on. What? I haven't heard that one before. He said, I play to be immortal. Josh said, I'm the best athlete on the planet. Now, it came up because he said that to Matt Barkley's wife when she challenged him in pickleball like a couple weeks ago, and it came out, and then Kyle heard that, was like, we're bringing that up. But he
backed it up the next day at practice. He fully backed it up. He was like, I truly believe I'm the best athlete on the planet.
Are his pickle skills that good?
No, he got smoked by
he's
Barkley's
saying
wife
any
twice.
sport, body, weight, athleticism, talent, all that, he thinks that he's the best. And
he's got the physical attributes, I guess.
Yeah.
You can't put me on a
Goff
basketball court. I suck.
Okay.
Yeah. Goff said, I'm one of the best ping pong players in the state of Michigan. He's like, I can't go international with it or anything like that, but I feel like if anybody in Michigan, if I'm on my game and I'm playing, I feel like I can beat anybody. You got anything for us? Anything? We haven't been asking these guys for it, but anything that you, or maybe you wish you were known for more. Like, I didn't know Goff had pong game like that.
I think I'm gonna have to find out about that pong game. I got the best rhythm of any QB in the league.
Ooh. Why don't we do this? We're not going to ask you to dance. Somebody else probably will, and then you'll say no. But, like, can you prove that in the end zone at some point this year?
I think I might have to break something out. It's time. You know, we kept it.
I remember
for a while.
during, like, rookie premiere, you hit one and during rookie premiere.
Hard. Yeah, that was fully committed.
That camera guy was absolutely gassing me up.
I knew he was just gassing the shit out of you.
No, it's I don't know. I've always had a little bit of rhythm,
hit
but
that.
yeah, we'll see. I got to break something out in the end zone.
Yeah,
I normally just freak out though.
out.
Yeah. You hit like almost like the Saquon Barkley and just throw your hands around. Yeah,
Exactly.
or you could
You got to do it when it's like 28-3. You know what I mean? When you're not that jazzed because the game's already over, but now you got the presence of mind to be like, wait a second.
Yeah.
And then just clear the mechanism.
Feel the rhythm, feel the rhyme. Come on now, it's bobsled time.
Your Heisman year, 4,600 yards, 43 touchdowns, 6 picks, 70%. Ran for 311, 5 touchdowns. I think it is. Is that one of the, or is that the best college season ever? I mean, I'm not asking you to memorize other people's stats, but I'm saying, like, whatever it was a shitload of good stuff and very few bad things.
Efficiency-wise, yeah, but it's hard for me to argue up against Burrow's senior year and Cam Newton's Heisman year.
Yeah.
I mean, those guys were just unbelievable. Like, I mean, I know Burrow's team. Like, I had a freaking squad, but I'm not saying that. But LSU was just
the 2 best receivers in the league today.
Yeah, right now.
they were just so much fun to watch, and so I tried to watch those guys every time. But I just like the Cam season. He put that team on his back, and I know, like, yeah,
and
like
they didn't have
stats-wise,
guys on their team either. They didn't have guys like that. Nobody.
Auburn.
Yeah, you look at like the guys on that team. None of them played in the league.
Yeah,
like 6-pound pick running back, 3rd-round pick tackle is like,
yeah. I think between those 2 guys, but I put mine up there as well.
It was crazy with Joe. So I met Joe going into his senior year.
Yeah, same.
And it was funny because I was in the green room at your guys' draft. I know you didn't go to the draft, but Sam and Josh did, and Kyle did too. It was in Dallas, and I'm in the green room, and I see Coach Orgeron. And Coach Orgeron was my brother Carson's D-line coach at USC. So I've known this guy since I was in high school.
Wow. Okay.
And so I'm fucking with him, and we're at the bar, and I'm like, Coach, and he's there with Devin White, and I think, or some other, linebacker or whatever from LSU. And I'm like, Coach O, when are you going to get a quarterback in this room? He's like, what are you talking about? And I go, well, you're not going to win a title until you get a quarterback in this room. Every year you got a DB in here. He goes, 2 years. And I go, who you got? He goes, I'm going to call you. I'm going to send you a kid I'm getting from Ohio State. And then, so that's how I met him. So he sent him out. And so.
He actually did send him.
No, he sent him out. That's how I met him. And so I had a QB Summit camp, and I was having college counselors come at that time when I was doing them. I had college guys out. And, but Sam, Josh, and Kyle rented this sick beach house, like super unique spot for that whole off season. And we all live in the same area. And so when I had all the college guys come in, I hit up them. I was like, because they were like, I don't know, whatever. I had like, can we do something at the house Friday night? You know what I mean? Like, hang out.
Yeah.
And I love having guys share their journey. They're like, go. What's your journey? You know what I mean? Tell us your journey. It's just like a, trusted room. There's like 8 of us. It's kind of like this, right?
Yeah.
But not recording. And we didn't know who this guy was. this is the blonde dude from LSU. They were 8-4. I don't know who the guy was.
Yeah.
And I didn't know him from Ohio State. I never heard of him. And so he starts telling his journey. And then I'm like, well, this is the most confident guy I've ever heard.
Really?
And he's explaining to us what was about to happen. You remember this, right, Kyle?
This is unbelievable. I had no clue who this guy was.
We have a chance to win the national title. And this is a Heisman. Well, we have, and this, he starts going through these names. I'm like, shit, I think LSU might be really good this year. And then it was Friday night. We're like, man, I hope this guy can spin it tomorrow because he's talking a big game. We've never seen a pro. And then he threw it, good. It's not like he like wowed you in college, like it wasn't like that kind of deal. And then, but that's how it started. And then I just kind of rode with him.
He was manifesting it like that.
Bro, he just straight up explained. Think about it. You're with a bunch of guys who are high picks at their house, the balls to come in and be like, here's how this is going to go.
It's just who he is.
I love it.
Now it makes sense. At the time, we were like, this guy's either tripping, he's delusional, or this is going to be awesome. And it was option C.
One thing delusional about Joe is his fashion sense. I still sometimes just don't know what he's wearing.
Yeah, people might say that.
He pulls it. He pulls it off.
People might say that about you too. I saw when you pulled up in a waste management. We talked about that earlier. I don't know.
Those
the full silk outfit.
Those were straight.
It was a hot day.
Casual.
It was hot out there too. I know you were sweating those. See the swamp ass.
I got a Lululemon shirt on. I'm pretty comfortable. You went soak with it. It was
Yeah, it's pretty stupid.
But I think with Joe, had some conversations, but also just like thought this on the front end. But like, I think it creates an edge if you dress like that and you lay eggs over and over and over again. Like, you're gonna hear it, and I think it kind of creates almost like you like picking somebody out of the crowd. I think it creates a little bit of an edge, especially when you're a guy who you need some negativity. You need some like stuff to fire you up. There's not that many people that hate Joe. Like, everybody loves him. You know what I mean? He's this like, everyone loves him unless you're a fan of the other team. And so I think it almost creates this shit talking that if you use that for fuel and everybody's giving you love, you might need to create some fuel.
Yeah.
And I think it creates an edge.
Like you said it, everybody, like, there's no reason not to like him. So at this point, it's like only reason people root against him, like you said, other team, or they just want to see the Bengals lose because now all of a sudden they're good.
No. All right, we're going to do one more game. We're going to go to Teach Tape, and then we'll get the 2-minute drill. We'll get you out of here. But we started this game last year. We called it, it's not really a game, but it's QB to QB. So we'll have our guest before that we had on ask next week's guest a question, quarterback to quarterback question. Could be anything. Could be about the game. We haven't done.
We don't know who
year.
next week's guest is.
Yeah.
So it's kind of just a generic ask a quarterback a question.
Yeah. It was like we had Kirk Cousins on last year, and he was like, ask the next guest what their favorite cover zero answers are. And then we had Ryan Fitzpatrick on, who could give a fuck less, and he had a great answer. He had a great answer for it, but he's sitting in his basement, probably in his underwear, But
and then we had somebody say, would you rather have fingers for toes or toes for fingers? So this can have nothing.
And then we canceled it for the rest of the season at that point. Yeah, that was
after that one. That was ridiculous.
That was our XFL episode. So yeah, we decided. That was Danucci. Yeah, great. Yeah,
do you know him, by the way? That guy's the man.
I don't. I just find him very entertaining.
He's very entertaining, dude. Yeah. But so you're our first guest doing it this year, but we pulled Sam Darnold's question from last year since he's your boy. His question to you was, what's the most important part of your routine in terms of getting ready on game day? Are you superstitious? Do you have things you need to do? You do come off as somewhat of a superstitious guy. So I'm interested to hear this one.
Yeah, definitely superstitious. I feel like I have the same 2 songs I'll listen to in the morning. Like whether like waking up by Explosions in the Sky. It's also from the Lone Survivor soundtrack, and then Heroes by Peter Gabriel. Kind of a similar vibe. Both of them are on that soundtrack. And then when I get to the field, like warm-ups, I have this like certain playlist that I kind of just bounce around from, but like I have it like on Spotify, Apple, and SoundCloud. So I'm all over the place, bouncing around, trying to get exactly. Yeah, trying to get back to some freestyles, old school Lil Wayne. There's definitely, I always got to listen to Chosen One by Future and No Ceilings by Lil Wayne and Big Amount by 2 Chainz.
That's range. You got musical range right there.
I'm pretty much cultured, is what the kids are saying nowadays.
Yeah, very cultured.
I can just picture
you.
Be
careful with that word over there. Yeah, cultured. All right. Sure.
All right, funny. You got a question. We don't know who you're going to ask it to, but just picture you're going to give us a question to ask another quarterback that they have to answer. So you can go anywhere you want with that.
What's one thing you have to eat on game day or the night before, if you have any rituals like that?
If it's a 1 o'clock game, I don't eat. I can't play.
Yeah,
I can't play on a full stomach. I can't play. Now, last night's game, I was grubbing all day long.
Night games are the worst.
4 coffees. I had so many coffees yesterday. It was a fucking nightmare.
I hate night games.
By the time I got to the season or to the game. All right, we're gonna do Teach Tape. So Teach Tape is one of our favorite segments. It's where we're gonna pull up some plays from last week's game and just get nerdy on football, man. I think it's really cool to be able to just talk through scheme, talk through what you were seeing on certain plays, specific things that happened, and you had a couple really cool plays from this week. So Jake's got it pulled up right here. We're gonna go through this. This is end of the second quarter, kind of 2-minute drill-ish. I'm not sure if you guys were in 2-minute mode here or not, but, you got ample amount of time. You're on the 28, minute 14, not sure what timeouts are, but we'll let this one play and tell us what you were thinking on this play right here.
Yeah, so previous to this, we were in 2-minute drill. We had it was 2 minutes and 38 seconds where we started on our own territory, obviously. Get into a 2x2 set. We had just converted, and we had gotten a tell on some of their stuff. When Harrison was back deep, it was when they were going to try and roll into some of their cover 2 coverages, just variation. So they're running their 2 invert stuff right here. And we got a double concept right here mirrored up. It's an out route and a corner bench route, whatever you want to call it. And what I'm looking for is the widest safety. And I'm gonna try and double move this thing. So you can see me right there. I'm giving it to Mike. Give him a chance. And as soon as trying to get Harrison off that spot, and that's a rookie 44. So they're in their big nickel right there. 3 safeties out there. He's the one trying to cover Mike Evans. So I'm like, all right, I'm taking a chance on this.
So yeah, you can see it right there. You gave him the pump signal, huh? You just run the bench pump on the 2 safety.
And you just pick a side and pump them.
Yeah. Most of the time, I mean, you can go back and look at some of the Seattle tapes of Russell throwing us to Tyler Lockett, Geno doing it a couple of times last year, and almost every single one of them has been to the Z. This is the first time it was to the X, so it just happened that way. And so Dave Canales, our OC, was pumped up to have one for his Teach Tape.
So your tell was when they you said Harrison in the middle right there, that's when they're getting in their 2 invert stuff mostly?
Yeah, so they had been dropping back. They weren't 0. They were playing some sort of 2, but they wanted him to be kind of the run-through player.
Yeah, that's tough to see sometimes, man, because that just looks like 3 so easily,
Yeah.
It looks like cover 3 from the jump. That's awesome that you got the pump there. Huge play, right? We talk about it all the time, situational football, scoring right before half. I don't know if you guys got the ball or not to come out of the second half, but, you can dip toe, you can get one before and get one right after.
That was the biggest thing for us because we had absolutely shit the bed before this drive. So finally got a couple tells on it and was able to make this happen. So we were lucky.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
All right, we got one more here. This is at the end of the game, and I don't know if you guys do this, but you don't get to watch all the games on Sunday. You're playing on Sunday. I love going on YouTube and just watching all the highlights from all the games. So I was checking your guys' highlights from the game, and this is at the end of the game. You got 2 minutes left in the fourth quarter. The previous third down, they had you throwing it. You ended up scrambling, getting the first down. This one, you throw this out route over here. Just from my perspective, the trust in you on third down with the game on the line in 4-minute mode to say, let's put the ball in Baker's hands and throw it both times, right? Could get an incompletion, stop the clock, get them to save a timeout. The trust in them to do that, you make plays on both of them. Tell me your thoughts here, and also just them having that trust for you, how awesome that is.
That trust instills confidence in you. You guys know how far that goes. It's okay, they believe in me. I'm going to make this work. I'm going to find a way to make this work. So right before this set of downs, they had called a couple timeouts. So they were running low. If we got that first down, we were able to kneel it out, run the clock out. So what we had is just a choice stick return concept with a little out route to check it and work it if it's free access. And just we had the free access all game. Hadn't taken advantage of it like we should have. But, this is an unbelievable catch by Chris Godwin. That's fingertip catch, getting the other foot down, rolling over and still having possession of it. And you just see the excitement for a guy that truly had been blocking his ass off all game against Harrison Smith on some of the duo stuff. And then he comes back and still makes that catch. It's incredible. But yeah, you're right. That having that trust factor, that means the world to me.
Dialing it up, man. That's awesome. And this is all transferable. That travels. You can go that anywhere. And this is just the beginning of the timing, right? Like you said, you get routes on air, and then training camp, it's not. But these are the valuable reps, right?
Yeah.
Knowing that I can do that on third down. And practice becomes less relevant. Just when you start adding up shit that you've done in games with guys, confidence goes through the roof.
Exactly. And just seeing how those guys are able to really turn the lights on when it comes down to it. That's why they're a couple of all-pros out there.
Mm-hmm. And a couple of Super Bowl champions, too.
Yeah.
Been a part of that. Yeah. We do it with the lights are real bright. Well, dude, last thing we're going to do here's a little 2-minute drill. I always talk about how well you handle success and how well you handle adversity. That's how good you are. If you're awesome at handling success, we know guys that everything was going like this, and then as soon as adversity hit, you've never heard of them since. I think, and I spend the whole year working with young quarterbacks, college, pro, kids, camps, all the stuff. Like I literally use you as an example. And I've got a couple of speeches, like it's coming up every time. Like everyone needs to hear this. And then even my logo is a summit. It's like a mountain range. Mm-hmm. Company's called Summit because that's what your career is. It's up, down, up, down, up, down. Yeah. So it's how well you handle those things.
Oh yeah.
And I think you're one of the all-time greatest football players that ever lived at handling adversity. I can't imagine you were a walk-on twice, right?
Mm-hmm.
Heisman finalist twice, 3 times?
Twice, yeah.
Twice, won it once, went number 1. Like when somebody says, like, I got 90 scholarships, but I don't have one for you. You know what I mean? Like, I can't go. I've been cut, but I've never been told, I'm looking at your team right now. You don't have a scholarship for me? You know what I mean? And so when your back's against the wall, data shows, fuck, you're one of the best ever, man. And I've always respected it. I use you as an example the time of that. And so we're going to do the 2-minute drill. We're going to put a little timer up here. You got 2 minutes. Start this wherever you want to start this. Football, family, all of it. Mm-hmm. Would love to hear about the highs and the lows. And it ends at week 2.
So I'll start in high school. Was a late bloomer. Definitely hit puberty later than most. And you guys know how QBs get recruited earlier and earlier nowadays. And I grew up an Oklahoma fan, so I always wanted to play there. Got overlooked. They had their guy. Texas had their guy. All the other places in state had their guys as well. Almost took a scholarship to go play with Mike Leach at Washington State. Would have loved that. RIP to the legend. Almost took one at Florida Atlantic, but my dad convinced me to go walk on. Said that, no, you want to go play big time ball, go do it. Financially at the time, Texas Tech was the best answer, being in-state tuition. So get there July 8th, win the job, 2 weeks into training camp against Davis Webb. And then everything happens for a reason. Get hurt. We were 5-0, wind up moving on, transferring to Oklahoma, sit out a year, which honestly to me was the best year that could have happened to me. Playing for 1 year, freshman year, then having to sit out the next and actually growing from there. To me, that was the tipping point of my career, was learning under Josh Heupel. He was extremely hard on me. And then when Lincoln came in, being more of like a positive reinforcement kind of guy, still having Bob Stoops, a legend, coaches. But that was transitionally, that 2014 year is something that I'll look back and never, ever take for granted. And I'm really thankful for that, to have to sit out, have to run scout team, have to just settle in for a little bit instead of the world moving 1,000 miles an hour. And while that year that I sat out, come to find out that when I was coming out of high school and also transferring, my dad had reached out, and this is a story he told me, my dad had reached out to Texas to see if they had a spot for me to walk on there, and they told him no. And I grew up about 15 minutes from their campus, so it's horns down for life, baby. Never changed. Never changed.
Hell yeah. Even though you live there now.
That's
it's all
awesome,
good.
man.
Yeah. Don't matter.
You stay out of the craziness, but I will say this, that Quinn Ewers gets pretty good.
Yeah.
I
agree. They got it rolling there, man. It's going to be fun to watch these guys.
Yeah.
Well, dude, you get big and famous and you get good at sports. You got people that love you and you got people that hate you. I think you're one of those guys that on the outside of the locker room, there's a bunch of opinions. On the inside of the locker room, we've had a lot of friends play with you. Kyle just met you. I know you a little bit. Mm-hmm. It's unanimous, dude. You're a lot of people's favorite dude, and you can't find anybody say anything. So I just think it's congrats on doing that, man, because we kind of are.
Appreciate you guys, man.
What our teammates say about us, not necessarily what the fans or media who really gives a shit. And it's unanimous. Baker Mayfield fans, anybody who's in a locker room or a huddle with you. And I'd say the same as now you're a roomie. Congrats, you've been on the QB room. You're
appreciate you guys. Yeah, thanks for
merch coming,
allowing me to come in here.
Yeah, and dude, so stoked that you spent some time with us and with a big week 1 win and ready to keep this thing rolling in Tampa, man. We appreciate it.
Appreciate it, guys. Thank you so much for having me.